Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report. Coming up, the Women's World Champion IYO SKY returns to NXT to team up with Jordan Grace to take on former NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez and Giulia. And IYO SKY, even the playing field like she did past Monday Night Raw. We'll talk about it coming up. Also, too, we get to this right here. TNA champion Joe Henry. Let me show Joe Henry right quick. Come on, y'all. Come on. TNA champion Joe Henry makes his rare appearance on Impact on NXT. We'll hear what the TNA champion has to say coming up. Oh, yeah. Okay. Good, folks. Who gives our trespasses? The thing is acting up. All right. And two. Right here. Ricky Saints is in action as well. Ricky Saints in action against Lexus King for the North American Championship. And also we were supposed to show the full screen for Joe Henry making his rare appearance. Joe Henry, like I said, say his name, he appears. Joe Henry accepts Shawn Michaels' request to appear on NXT. We'll get that coming up as well. And also, plus two, we'll get to this too. Tony D'Angelo, the family's in disarray. Tony D'Angelo determined to confront staff over it. We'll talk about that. And the tag team championships on the line as Paint and Tank defend their tag team titles for the first time against Josh Bridge and Yoki Nashimura. We get things started with the TNA champion Joe Henry. Get the Pro Wrestling Show started right here, right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kenny Dix here. Glad you can join us on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in that conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling here on Connect and our streaming channel. Hit that subscribe button so you won't be missing a thing to be notified. Let's get things started right here, right now, with the TNA champion Joe Henry. Say his name, and he appears. I believe in Joe Henry. You get those claps, you know what I'm talking about. Joe Henry made his rare appearance in Impact, in NXT. Joe Henry coming out the heels of defending his championship in a triple threat match against Ethan Page and Frankie Kazarian. Well, Joe Henry had a surprise attack from Trick Williams. You don't know why Trick Williams did what he did to Joe Henry and left Joe Henry laid out. But Joe Henry wanted to address Trick Williams and what Trick done to him. But Joe Henry was about to say something until Dark State came out of nowhere and attacked Joe Henry and left Joe Henry laid out in the ring, attacking the TNA champion. Dark State, we don't know what kind of mission, agenda did they have. Dark State attacked the TNA champion, left him out laying. Dark State doing that to Joe Henry. Joe Henry really getting the brunt of Dark State. What's going on? So who knows? Well, we know next week next week, Dark State will have a 6-man tag. One of those 4 members will be a trio to take on the TNA champion Joe Henry and Hank and Tank. The 6-man tag team match, that's next week on NXT. So we'll see that coming up. Well, we get to the first match of the night. The first match of the night was Ricky Saints defending the North American Championship against Lexus King. Ricky Saints want to be a fighting champion. Indeed, he is. Defeating Lexus King. They get the 1, 2, 3. Ricky Saints with the Rochambeau. Defeating Lexus King. Good for Ricky Saints. right? Doing that to Lexus, setting Lexus up and stuff. Ricky Shanks doing his all to defeat Lexus King in the match. Well, we get to this right here. The family is in disarray. It's Tony D'Angelo. Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. You don't have no love lost for each other. Let me tell you that right now. Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. We're going to hurt it down. D'Angelo and Stacks. Billy want to beat the holy hell out of each other. At the Tony D'Angelo asking Stacks to do something about it. Stacks telling him on the video message board why he did what he did. It was time for Tony D'Angelo to be pulled aside and put aside or something like that. And Stacks wants to be the one to do it. Become the new Don of NXT. Tony D'Angelo says it's going to take a hell lot more than that to take him down as the new Don. And Tony D'Angelo and Stacks, this feud has just started. The intensity between these two men have just got started between them. So we will have to wait and see how this is going to play out eventually. Stuff for Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. Well, Hank and Tank, we know they defended their tag team championship. Hank and Tank defending their tag team titles against Josh Bridges and Yoshi Tosimone. I want to botch his name like I already did. But Hank and Tank defended their tag team titles and still the tag team champions. So Hank and Tank really leaving the word out on brand and stuff on what went down. So Hank and Tank doing what they need to do. And Hank and Tank did it their way tonight, but still retain the tag team championships. Well, is this the end of Metaphor? Metaphor saying that they're no longer gonna be teaming together, they're gonna go their separate ways. Last Legend, Noam Dar, HON, and Miss Jar Jackson saying they're gonna go their separate ways. They'll always reunite when the time is right. So Metaphor put an end to their group, and who knows what's next for Metaphor? Well, next for these four individuals on their own, and they will go on their own and figure it out how they should figure it out and stuff. So good for Metaphor. IYO SKY, the women's world champion from Raw, will be teaming up with Jordan Grace tonight. IYO SKY and Jordan Grace had that little conversation earlier what the strategy was and how they were going to strategize for the nice match against Roxanne Perez and Giulia later on in the show. Well, a big endorsement from Oba Femi, the NXT champion, got the biggest endorsement of his career. He got endorsed by the dead man, The Undertaker. The Undertaker, the WWE Hall of Famer, appeared and told Oba, "This is your yard." And Oba Femi, as the NXT champion, you need to take care of it because there'll be some sinners that's out there ready to take you down. Speaking of sinners, not the movie, but NXT sinners and stuff. Trick Williams came out there. Trick Williams came out there to talk about. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. As Trick Williams like to say, he wanted to talk about Joe Henry. Trick Williams said that he's bigger than NXT and he demands a shot at the NXT championship. He said he's going to be coming to cross over to TNA. Well, General Manager Ava reminded him, hey, he'll get his match against Joe Henry down the road. But Trick Williams wants to do this champion versus champion situation. Trick Willie will have to compete in a battle royal, and he's going to have to eliminate 24 other men. This is the battle royal next week. All these men looking for an opportunity to earn themselves a shot at Oba Femi at Battleground in Tampa. So 25 men will compete. I'm looking at probably be Javante Evans or either Trick Williams again, but it'll lead to Javante Evans getting the shot next week. Or perhaps Sean Spears might get the shot at the NXT Championship. You never know who's in this massive group that wants the shot become the next number one contender for the NXT Championship. So we'll see that coming up next week on NXT. Well, Andrew Chase, bringing back Chase U. Chase U's coming back, still ain't growing. Chase U doing so. Chase U coming back in more ways than one. Sean Spears still under his learning tree, bringing these people. I'm thinking Sean Spears might be the number one contender for the NXT Championship against Over Femi. Don't sleep on Sean Spears. That could be the possibility next week. So who knows for Sean Spears? So hey, we will wait and see. Sean Spears, no one contender for the championship. Well, well, we get to this right here. We saw Ricky Saints defeat. What's his name later? Carmen Pedranova went against Sora Roca, I think, and lost against Sora Roca. Carmen Pedranova taking her attention out on Shanti Adonis and kicking him to the curb. Wow. As they say, when black men get with a white woman, there's a Shannon Sharp situation. And you know this situation is going to heat up and intense up down the road. So, hey, we warned you, Ashanti. It's never too late to join back to your team. So hey, it is what it is. Well, we get to the main event. The main event was Women's World Champion IYO SKY joining forces with Jordan Grace to take on Giulia and Roxanne Perez. Giulia and Roxanne Perez infiltrating IYO's show on Raw with Rhea Ripley coming in to help save her. Well, IYO wanted to do the return, make the return back. And IYO tried her best. IYO SKY pinned Roxanne Perez with her moonsault to get the 1-2-3. IYO SKY merged with Torres along with Jordan Grace. They won. So IYO SKY continued that momentum and she's heading on going. So hey, that's gonna end the NXT ring report. All right, let's move forward to wrestling hot topics. Wrestling hot topics. We talk about this right quick. We talk about this. We're hearing that NXT commentator Corey Graves may be a father again. This time with Carmella. Well, Carmella be her second child. So Corey Graves is gonna be a father of 5, I think. Yeah, father of 5, Corey Graves. Congratulations to the couple. Well, before we go, Chef, we saw this right here. Seth Rollins. Someone revealed Seth Rollins paid way too much for his outfit. They paid about $10,000. Wow. Yeah. Seth Rollins, I wouldn't even. That's a lot of money for big shelling out like that. But knowing himself, he got the money to do so. Good for Seth Rollins and stuff. All right. We're going to leave you here on the NXT ring report. Women's World Champion IYO SKY pinning Roxanne Perez to get the 1-2-3 to get the victory. IYO looking forward for her. What's next for her? Roxanne and Giulia are not finished. We'll have to wait and see. Well, that's going to do it for the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report. I've been your host, Kendra Dixon. So long. We'll see you Friday for the SmackDown ring. Well, tomorrow for the AEW Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling